In Washington, ghost-like objects dart across the radar screen at the CAA Traffic Control Center at National Airport for several hours, traveling more than 100 miles an hour. Air Force jet fighters spend several hours chasing the objects plotted on the radar scope.
Something else is out there.
There's something else out there, okay.
Of all the banks and braes of bonny Scotland, none holds more fascination than the murky waters of Loch Ness.
Tell me, do you think there is life on other planets?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but I suppose there would be.
No, he seems definite. You seem
Definitely.
definite. How do you see this life and where?
Oh, I've seen a flying saucer.
Blackwater Media presents DARKFALL. Real-life encounters with the paranormal and the unexplained. My grandfather was a badass. He was born in Alberta in 1911. He raised his three brothers on a reservation from the time he was 9 when his parents left for British Columbia with their only daughter, promised to return, and none of the boys ever saw them again. To make ends meet, he learned carpentry and worked as a laborer and bare-knuckle boxed against older men for extra cash. He learned how to track and hunt, and always came home with something to eat when work was scarce. When he was 14, he put the second oldest brother in charge of the household, left the reservation in search of his parents and a better life, and never went back. That was the last time he saw any of his family members. He spent several months riding the rails, befriending some transients while using his fighting skills to defend himself against others. He eventually made his way to Vancouver, the last known whereabouts of his parents and sister, and started work in a pulp mill. At 17, he met my grandmother, and the two eventually married, leading him to give up his search for his family. They bought some land, and he spent his free time building several houses, which still stand today. One of those set on the land he bought with my grandmother, which includes acres of wooded area. On that land, my grandparents kept horses and dogs, and small farm animals for eggs and meat. My aunt was born in 1940, and then my mother came along in 1943. As far as I've heard, nothing bad or strange really happened until my mom found an old Ouija board and played with it by herself. But I don't know if that has any relation to this story. My mother was around 8 when she was riding her horse through the wooded part of their acreage when the horse stopped dead in its tracks. My mom tried to spur it on, but it was frozen in fear. And all of a sudden, she smelled something like rotten garbage and meat. She pulled back on the reins and the horse instantly turned and took off back towards the house, almost knocking her off its back several times along the way. Afterwards, that horse was never the same. It would try to kick her, and if she got on it, it would fall backwards, trying to crush her beneath it. Once it started acting like its old self again, letting her climb onto it, but once she did, it ran towards the road and stopped abruptly, bucking her forward into the path of an oncoming car. My grandpa saw it happen and put a shotgun to its head, and the horse just kept breathing heavily and staring straight ahead. My mother barely missed being run over by a car that saw the horse coming and managed to swerve out of the way. And my grandmother begged my grandfather not to shoot the horse. He finally decided to give it away when he saw my mother wasn't badly injured. That same horse fell on the next person to ride it, breaking her collarbone, and the father did what my grandpa said he should have done the first time. After that, animals started going missing, and one of the hunting dogs was injured by something during an attack at night. Thanks so much for listening to the preview of this amazing story. If you'd like to continue and enjoy the story to its conclusion, head on over to blackwatermedia.net. On the left side of the home page, you'll see the menu. Just click on the tab that says Become a Swamp Hunter Society member, and for the price of $4.99 a month, you'll have access to the members VIP lounge where you can access all of Blackwater Media's premium content, past, present, and future. While you're on the website, also enjoy listening to the vast archive of free material. I'm Dr. William Lester. Welcome to Blackwater Media.